Kay Madsen from the Family Acupuncture Center, giving you some at-home tips on how to contend with the flu season. Now, whether you have had a flu vaccine or not, the #1 way of dealing with the flu season is to try not to get the flu at all by building a very strong and robust immune system, or as in Chinese medicine, we call it the defensive qi system. The first piece of advice on how to do that is to simply follow Grandma's advice. Eat well and get plenty of rest, and that builds the strongest immune system that we can. Now, another thing that I also like to do is to supplement with a good multivitamin and mineral supplement. Our food supply just really isn't everything that it should be, and none of us can be guaranteed that we're getting all the nutrition that we need. So if you're already using a brand that you like, stick with that, but just make sure that it covers a sufficient amount of a wide array of all the essential vitamins and minerals. You may need to add some extra things on top of it, but I think of this as like nutritional spackle. Now, there's a couple of brands that I like. Vitamin Code makes a really good product. And what I've been using recently is a vitamin and mineral mix called IMAX. Now, it's designed for eye health, but I find that it has a really good component of a wide array of vitamins and minerals. But the idea is that you just want to have the healthiest nutrition that you can. Now, also from a vitamin and mineral standpoint, one of the things that Americans are very deficient in that supports immune health is vitamin D. We tend to be really low in it, whether that's from the overuse of sunscreen or maybe we just don't get outside as much as we used to. So I think pretty much for everybody, including children and especially the elderly and everybody in between, you need to supplement with extra vitamin D3 on top of what is in a good multi-formula. And it comes in a variety of different forms. There are gummies for children. They tend to be a little high in sugar. There are extra pills that you can take. I like to use these drops because they're very concentrated, 400 IUs per drop. Just drop a couple of drops or how many ever drops you want in some water and drink it on down. It has a nice little orangey flavor to it, so kids like it as well without adding a lot of extra sugar. But whatever form you like, extra vitamin D is crucial for your immune system. Another extra vitamin that you might need to take would be some extra vitamin C. Again, you've got a brand that you like, great. They make things in chewables and gummies for kids. I don't tend to like those because they have a lot of sugar in them. But you might want to take an extra 500 milligrams to 1,000 milligrams a day of vitamin C for healthy immune support. Now, in terms of building the immune system and what we talk about as the defensive qi system in Chinese medicine, the next strategy that we really have on top of just being sort of healthy and have all your vitamins and minerals intact is to use Chinese herbal formula. Now, one formula that we use an awful lot in this house, and I keep it on hand all the time, and this is where my medicine cabinet starts looking different than probably yours. And the best formula to really keep on hand for your immune system, in my opinion, is something called Gan Miao Ling. It comes in, as all Chinese herbal formula, it comes in different forms. These are, just some regular pills. We also can get this formula as well as many others if you have children who it's harder to take the big pills. These very traditional type of pill called tea pills. They're nice little round pellets and they're very easy to swallow. So that can be good for kids. You have to use a few more of them than the larger pills, of course, but it's great for kids. And all the herbal formula also come for very young children who might be too young to swallow any kind of pill, even a tea pill. We can get herbal extracts. And these you can just take a dropper or two full, and I put it in a little cup of grape juice, which helps cut the flavor a little bit, help it go down a little bit more. So Gan Miao Ling is a formula, like I say, I keep in my medicine cabinet 100% of the time. It is my go-to formula if I feel like I've been exposed to any kind of virus, a head cold, the flu, and I know that it might be coming, or I feel just that first little edge, the first indication that something is coming on. In this family, we hop right on the Gan Miaoling, and I can't tell you how many times we have stopped things just absolutely dead in their tracks. It can also be good for, well, the flu has got you, but if you get on this really fast, you're probably going to have a much milder version of it than if you didn't catch it at all. Now, there's another herbal formula that does also work well for when you know that you've first gotten something. That might be, maybe it has a little bit more of a heat manifestation to it. There's a fever that comes with it, a really painful sore throat, and that formula is called Yin Chao San, or Yin Chao Wan, but Yin Chao is the basic name of the formula. Also something I always have in my medicine cabinet year-round, and if something like that comes along, we start taking those, and it can really help take the wind out of the sails of the virus that hits you. Now, of course, all of us at one point in time or another are probably going to get the flu, even if we've had the flu shot. So say it's a really strong virus, these herbal strategies didn't work very well for you, or you hopped on them too late, and the flu has gotten in, and you're in its grips. There are also some other herbal strategies and other Chinese medical strategies that we can use to help make you feel better, make it go away faster, and keep the manifestation symptoms down low. If you're in that stage where it's sort of what we call the in-between, half in and half out, that would be alternating chills and fever. There's a formula, again, that I keep in my medicine cabinet called Minor Bupleurum, and that can be really helpful with the body, convincing the virus that it's not half in, half out, it's just all the way out, and help kick it out before it gets any deeper and gives you like a full-fledged, really high fever for a sustained period of time. So that's a good strategy to use as well. Another Chinese medical strategy that we use, if the flu has gotten you, or even if you feel like you've just been exposed and you're at the very beginning stages, is a procedure called gua sa. Gua means to friction or to rub or to scrape, and sa refers to the red patches that show up on the skin. And we're not breaking the surface of the skin. And I'm going to be doing a separate video on this, and this is going to be highlighted much more in my next newsletter, which will be coming out in early December. And we just use a little ointment, a little scraping tool, in this case the lid. This would be done on the back, but I'm just going to show you on my arm. And we scrape, 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 scrape. This would be all over the back, and big red patches come up. And that is a traditional Asian home remedy for dealing with the cold and the flu. Takes it right out. I've had a lot of success using this methodology. Now, if you would like any more information on the Chinese herbs or on the gua sa, you have any questions about that, feel free to email me at familyacupuncture@verizon.net. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Now, there are some other strategies beyond Chinese medicine that can be quite helpful too. There's a homeopathic remedy called oscillococcinum. Little tiny sugar pills you put under your tongue. I've used this pretty successfully if the flu has gripped you. Okay, so that's not a bad thing to do. Now, if it's that respiratory type of flu, another strategy that we use, and this is kind of quasi-Chinese medicine, quasi-Western medicine, is to do herbal infusions. So take a big bowl of steaming water, put in some essential oils. My favorite combo is eucalyptus, peppermint, and tea tree oil. And breathe the steam of that, and that opens up the nasal passages and the sinuses, and it gets down into the upper part of the lung. It's a great prophylactic approach against getting any secondary bacterial type of infection that can come along with the flu. And also can give great relief from coughing and wheezing, things that could go on when you've got the flu. So that's another strategy that you can employ. So the bottom line is here that if you keep a healthy immune system and you can use some holistic approaches and some Chinese medical approaches, even if you get the flu, we can make sure that it doesn't bother you as much as it does your colleagues or your classmates. You're sick for a shorter period of time and the symptoms are really not as severe, and you can live through the flu to see the other side and go on another day without it being such a horrible ordeal. So I hope that we have given you some very helpful advice, and thank you so much for watching, and be well.